Gogo's words glowed in Nombulelo's ears. There was a leopard that followed me every time I walked through the forest. Nombulelo shrieked. Did it want to eat you? No, my baby. Do you know what I think? I think it was just my sister coming back to visit me in the shape of a leopard. You mustn't be scared of the forest. It's a safe place. But Nombulelo was afraid of the deep green wilderness next to their house. Shadows crept out of it when the sun wasn't looking, and the trees groaned and creaked in the wind. She was too scared to go into it, but she loved to sit on Gogo's lap and listen to her tell stories about it. One day I was walking home and I saw a beautiful boomslang. That snake, she said she was thirsty and wanted milk. I told her I'd give her some, but only if she promised not to bite me or my children. She said yes and slid away so that I could walk along the path safely. Gogo told her. But Gogo, snakes don't drink milk. Really? What do they drink then? Water. I must be a snake then because I really want some water. Gogo tickled Nombulelo, who giggled and tried to wiggle away, but wished at the same time that it would never stop. In her room, Gogo kept a small wooden box. It was made of a beautiful soft rose-colored wood, and it had a curling fern leaf carved into the lid. Nombulelo loved it. Whenever she opened it, a dusty gasp of air escaped before it showed its treasure, a dried moth the color of the soft brown sugar Mama used in her chocolate cakes. The moth was pinned to a card that was yellow and looked chewed around the edges. One hot summer morning, Nombulelo woke up and found Gogo's wooden box next to her bed. She was delighted, and straight away she ran to Gogo's room to hug her and thank her. But before she could open the door, her mother stopped her. Don't go in there, baby. But I went to see Gogo. Gogo's not there anymore, my darling. Nombulelo noticed that Mama's eyes were red and puffy, and it looked as if she had been crying. She's gone to take our messages to the ancestors. At first, Nombulelo wasn't sure what her mama meant. Then she understood. She wouldn't be seeing Gogo again. Her mama held her close for a while and then said, Go and eat your breakfast. Your aunts will be here soon. In her room, Nombulelo sobbed. She felt as if there was a big hole in her chest that would never be filled up again. She held the box and remembered how Gogo had always slowly rubbed her hands over her back. It had been her special way of telling Nombulelo that she was safe. All day, Nombulelo sat on her bed watching the sun move over the forest. She thought about all the stories Gogo told her. When the sun finally dipped behind the trees, Nombulelo curled up into a tight ball and fell asleep. Days went by and Nombulelo knew that her life would never be the same. One day she was holding Gogo's box looking at the fern leaf when all of a sudden she heard the softest whisper. It was coming from the box. Nombulelo held it up to her ear. A voice was saying, Please set me free. She jumped onto her bed and the box bounced onto the floor. The lid came off and out fluttered Gogo's moth. Its wings were so thin that Nombulelo could see right through them. Thank you, said the moth in a dry, whispery voice. It sounded as if it hadn't even had a sip of water in years. Now will you please take me home? Nombulelo was amazed. She looked inside the box. Only the old nibble card was in it. The moth that used to be tinned to it was now in front of her. If I take you home, will Gogo come back? Asked Nombulelo. She started to cry. Your Gogo has a new home now. I want to go and join her there, but my wings are too old and tired to fly all the way. She said that you'd help me, the moth replied. If you help me, you'll make your Gogo proud. Sniffing, Nombulelo asked, Where is your home? It's at the top of the waterfall on the other side of the forest, whispered the moth. Nombulelo shivered. But the forest is dangerous. Don't be scared, said the moth. I'll show you the path to take. Through the window, the forest called out to Nombulelo. She was still afraid of it, but what she wanted most was to make Gogo proud. So with the moth on her shoulder, she jumped out of the window and dashed into the trees. Everything was dark. Thorny twigs pricked at her legs. The gray trunks of the assegai trees soared above her head, and the rich smell of soil floated up from the forest floor. The path is on your left, the moth whispered into her ear. The narrow track curved through the trees. Nombulelo couldn't see where it went, but she started walking. Her skin prickled. It felt like there was something watching her. Perhaps the monkeys were about to jump down from the trees and bite her. Thump, thump went her heart. She swung around quickly, but the only things watching her were the red trumpets of the wild pomegranate flowers. "Keep going," said the moth. "You're strong like your gogo." She carried on until a swish of spots slid silently through the leaves. Could it be a leopard? And if it was it hungry? Her legs shook. Nombulelo dropped down, but it was only a shadow. "Keep going," said the moth. "It's not far now. You're brave like your gogo." They went deeper into the heart of the forest. There, dangling from a branch across the path, was a boomslang. Its dark, beady eyes were fixed on Nombulelo. Its forked tongue flicked in and out. Nombulelo was shaking with fear. "Remember, you have a kind heart like your gogo," whispered the moth. Nombulelo took a deep breath and then said, "Dear snake, maybe it was you who met my gogo, and she gave you milk. She's gone now, and I'm helping her friend to go home with her. Please may we cross?" The snake stared at her. The coil started to move. Was it going to strike? But it slithered away, high up into the tree, and was gone. There was a strong, warm feeling all through Nombulelo's body as she kept walking. The path turned once more, and then they were out of the forest and in front of the waterfall. The sunlight sparkled on the water as it tumbled over the rocks. "Thank you," said the moth, fluttering off Nombulelo's shoulders. Its wings were strong and shiny. It hovered in the air in front of her for a moment, and then flew away on a gust of wind. A soft golden dust fell from its wings, showering Nombulelo in a brilliant mist. It clung to her skin and glowed in the warm touch of the sun. She heard her gogo's voice, "I'll always be with you, my golden child." Feeling safe and happy, Nombulelo skipped and ran back through the forest. At the end of the path, she saw her home and felt as though Gogo's warm hands were rubbing her back. The end.